Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the GQ Johnny. This is a very important ship to take a look at, as it is a tier 9 premium that you can earn completely for free. It is an exact copy of Johnston, so that's why I'm playing it today as far as gameplay elements go. Just a name change and a camo change. But this is the ship, the playstyle you can earn completely for free in the coming months. Starting with update 14.7 in August, all the way to the end of the year. There's going to be some mission chains that you'll need to complete, and you can earn yourself a free tier 9 premium. This is absolutely incredible. I did not expect this at all, and I am very excited to see an event like this come into the game. Anybody can get in on this one and get yourself a very unique tier 9 premium. This ship has better DPM when it's burst firing, so there's almost no reason to not burst fire. It's a very interesting, different, unique playstyle. And your torpedoes with a long reload are actually a little better than Fletcher's in some ways, particularly down to the range. You get 13.5 kilometers of range on these torpedoes, where Fletcher only gets 10.5 kilometers of range, allowing you to torp from outside radar range. A little bit of a comfort play there. To get yourself the GQ Johnny, though, I'm not sure what these mission chains are going to look like. I have no idea if it's going to imitate the original Dockyard event with Puerto Rico, where it was more than a full-time job to actually grind through that initial Dockyard, which has been since changed, and seemingly they're not doing events that bad these days. Or is it going to be more like the Tennessee? Back in the day with that Leyte Gulf event, we got ourselves a free tier 8 battleship with a very nice gimmick. Cruiser dispersion on battleship guns is absolutely wild to have. And much like this event, we didn't know how difficult it would be to earn. That was my main criticism of that ship and it coming into the game. I didn't know that it was going to be relatively reasonable to grind through those mission chains. Here with the GQ Johnny, I have no idea how difficult these mission chains are going to be. This ship is unique. It's a different playstyle. I don't know if it's especially overpowered. I would not say that about the Johnston or the GQ Johnny. But having this burst fire, having SAP is very interesting to say the least. And having that available for free is really cool. So if you're willing to play or you like playing this game, and over the next few months towards the end of the year, you have time, definitely pay attention to the mission chains and grinding this out. This is a very interesting ship, and certainly it will earn you a lot of credits. A tier 9 being a full premium ship, not a tier 10 special ship where we don't have that credit multiplier. Here we do. This ship earns you a lot of credits. So if you're a free-to-play player, try to get yourself this one. If you're ever low on credits, then you'll have a tier 9 premium to play. It's a good reason to grind through coal or research bureau, get yourself tier 9s that way too. But this is a way without going through those resources to get yourself a tier 9, which is really valuable for getting yourself a lot of credits very quickly. The playstyle of Johnston, though, I think really wants to be played aggressively around island cover. This is a ship that wants to burst out its damage very quickly and then get it to cover so it's safe, or using its smoke screen, for example. It's a standard American smoke, lasts a very long time, but if you ever smoke up and you need to leave that smoke, suddenly there's a very long cooldown. There's a bit of a downside there. So trying to play it around islands like I am here, pushing out aggressively when I have my smoke available, is going to be, I think, a key strategy. Saving my torpedoes for larger targets like battleships, for example. We can't have a lot of DPM on these torps. The reload is very long, so I'm trying to wait for opportune moments or to send out zoning torpedoes into common choke points. Here, getting a hit on the Marco Polo. The burst fire does get you better DPM, though. You have a short duration between your bursts. You get a 3-round burst here, and you have a 1.4 second interval between these bursts. Any reload buffs impact both the interval between shots and the long reload time as well. So that's why these DPM buffs on the main guns are so important, and why I would generally recommend a main gun build on this ship. Although I did try the torp build. I'll show you that a little bit later. Not recommended, but you can try it. The main guns here have a DPM that is not amazing for your tier at just base values here. It's 166,000 SAP DPM, 120,000 HE DPM. To compare that, say, to a Fletcher, it has a 161,000 HE DPM. Pretty massive gap there in HE, but your SAP is what is going to make up for that. The SAP on this ship, it's okay. All right, it's all right. It's got 65 to 75 degree pen angles, but even against that shimma there, as soon as DDs start to angle, you're going to get a lot of bounces, and the damage falls off rather quickly. So you should be swapping to the HE still. 36 mil pen on this HE, though, is incredible. So many battleships have 32 millimeters of armor. You'll find that with upper belts even at tier 10 super ships tier. If you find yourself a Yamato, for example, or a Republic or a Conqueror type of ship, the sap does absolutely disgusting damage. If you have yourself a Halsey and you manage to get a Confederate, well, that also is going to impact the cooldown of these bursts. The time between your burst as well as that full long reload. So you can see that we actually get even faster burst damage out of this ship. DPM is very important on a ship like this one. I really enjoy having a ship with a bit of a longer reload and a lot of burst damage all at once. Typically, you'd find that in just a high alpha damage salvo, but these burst fires work in a somewhat similar way, I would say. It's a bit of the Atago effect. Atago's been in the game for a long time. It was actually my very first premium ship in World of Warships, and I learned how to play that ship, or I learned how to play cruisers on that ship quite well, in that you have a very long reload with high alpha damage, allowing you to get a burst off, get a big salvo off, and then spend the rest of that time while you're on reload, angling, dodging incoming fire. DDs, you often don't have that opportunity, but here with Johnston, we actually do. We can burst out of salvo, have our long reload, and spend that time dodging. And then as soon as we're ready to go again for another burst, we show more broadside, fire all of our guns, and then we angle again. It's a small thing, but it does allow you to play this ship in such a way that you take less damage for the same DPM of an enemy ship that would have just standard guns, like a Fletcher, for example. Yes, we'll barely out DPM them with the sap. Our HE will not out DPM a Fletcher. And yet in a 1v1, I would feel quite confident, because if that Fletcher wants to maintain his DPM, he's got to stay broadside enough that we're getting full pens the whole time. Whereas we can spend a lot of our time actually dodging incoming fire, which I think is an interesting playstyle difference here between Johnston and a regular Fletcher. I was very hard on the Johnston when it came into the game, if you remember. That was a while ago at this point. It was a part of a very expensive event. You had to spend a lot of money. It was well over $200, or it was around $200 to get it, something like that. Very, very expensive for a ship that wasn't that unique, right? But I'm so positive here because you can earn it for free. There's a very big difference between paying $200 and earning it for free. I think this is a very interesting ship for free to earn. And well done, Wargaming. I'm very, very hard on you for your monetization. In this event, even. I'm quite hard on you for the Nanning as well as the Cambridge. But you've got yourself an incredible event on your hands here with this Johnston, or the GQ Johnny. Not sure why we're getting a different version of it, to be honest with you. I suppose they're also offering Johnston available for direct purchase in this event too. Maybe that is why they're separating it out. But regardless, I would highly recommend, if you want this ship, don't buy it outright. Just get yourself this ship for free by playing the game. Black here with a radar, very scary ship to deal with, of course. But our burst looks like he doesn't want to deal with us here. Burst firing with this ship, though, at longer range can be a big challenge. This does not get any sort of improved shell velocity. The real problem with playing American gunboat DDs, or rather, this will be the hybrid line soon. The gunboat line has been announced, of course. This is very low shell velocity. It is hard to land your hits on target. Battleship's not too bad, but into DDs, it's very, very difficult. And Yamato's actually got pretty solid blind fire for us, so we're gonna have to be quite careful, constantly moving in smoke, of course. I'm trying to get the permafire here on the Yamato. This is the Torp build, by the way, that I'm trying out. And we get very respectable damage out of these torpedoes, finding ourselves on a flank, getting a lot of spotting damage too with this ship. We can play off on our own rather comfortably, especially when our smoke is available. We can use our burst to get a ton of damage into an enemy DD trying to push us, and then smoke up and run away. It's a really good hit and run style tactic with the Johnston here. We can do a lot of damage that way and hold on to positions that in other DDs I might be a little bit more cautious against. Still not getting those fires. Another downside of playing a standard American ship or American DD these days is your fire chance is very, very poor. You get only 5% fire chance base here. Compared to most modern DD releases coming into the game, that's almost half. A lot of them have anywhere from 7 to 9% fire chance. The ones that have been released in the last couple of years, shall we say. A little power creep, of course. This is still a good ship. The American DD line is still quite good. I'm actually working on a whole video, much like we did for the light cruisers, the American light cruisers, and the Soviet DDs when they got their whole line buffed. I think it'd be cool to go over some of these older lines or go through all the lines in a similar video like that. So I'm working on it. So I have been playing these ships recently. I've played a ton of Fletcher recently, and this one felt more comfortable to be just full sending a gunboat build. Fletcher wants to feel a little more like a hybrid these days. It's still not especially comfortable into these higher tier games. You'll notice that I'm spending a lot of time not shooting. I'm cutting out a lot of portions of this video. Notice our spotting damage climbing in most of these clips. We got to pick and choose our moments to actually use our guns. If you're just going to full send long range gunboat with this thing, I don't think it's going to work out too well. This is not a ship that wants to play like that. I'm not playing around islands here. As I mentioned earlier, you want to be doing that, but sometimes you got to play the flank. Sometimes you got to be the spotting for your team. It's much more important to do that. In this case, a double up tier. Got to mention it. We're playing a tier 9. It's got to be mentioned. Tier 9 matchmaker is pretty rough these days, of course. Playing into super ships is very, very difficult. In this case, we're trying to avoid those confrontations. Fortunately, with the DD, we are able to do that, but it's still not easy. And it is a big problem with getting yourself into tier 9, trying to earn a lot of credits at tier 9. Some of your games are just going to feel like you're way outmatched, and certainly that can happen with the Johnston, but we can still have good games too. Positioning is, of course, incredibly important here with destroyers. Over 150k damage, got 7 torpedoes here, let's go. Actually running a torp build, do not recommend it. These torpedoes, well, they have good range and okay damage. It's just that reload that is such a massive problem with this ship. They're actually gearing torps, not Fletcher torps, except they go 13.5, not 16.5 like gearing. But otherwise, it's basically the same as gearing torpedoes there. So a bit of a downside on the damage, but I like the range. The extra range is really nice. The big problem is, of course, the reload. You just don't get these torps launched very often at all. Trying to push an Azaccio here. There's not a whole lot he can do to us. Playing very aggressive in these down tiers. When you get them, the full down tier into tier 7, you are an absolute monster. This ship is such a bully. The SAP is able to full pen most of the tier 7 battleships everywhere. That is absolutely ridiculous. And here I'm not actually bursting. Probably should be, considering the burst, again, is just better. It's just better DPM. Doing some quick math here, your SAP DPM goes from 166,000 all the way up to 190,000 with the burst fire, because we got to wait for those 2 1.7 second intervals to get ourselves a 3-round burst. Then it's a 9-second reload after that. And then our HE DPM goes from 120,000 up to 137,000 with the HE burst fire, which is still not impressive out of the HE, to be honest with you. That's why I think generally SAP is going to be our main ammo type. Ashitaka upper belt here. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage. Poor guy, man. Playing in those double up tiers for tier 7, it hurts, man. Tier 9, it hurts. Double up tiers are just very, very difficult in any ship. And this poor King George here also, we're just going to full pen him everywhere with the SAP. I'm being a little greedy for fires, probably too greedy to try and get permanent fires on these guys. The burst fire can help with that because you're condensing more of your damage into a very short period of time. Less likely to deal with friendlies stealing your permafires. I say that lightly, okay, in air quotes, stealing. Bit of a greedy damage farmer at my heart sometimes, and I don't want to see my teammates succeed at my expense. That's a joke, by the way, but still, sometimes I just want those fires so badly, man. Although in this game, I'm going to be the bad teammate where I'm just yoinking every single kill. A burst fire with DD guns, it's not even really that punishing to use your burst fire. Having a 6.6 second reload between those bursts is not too bad at all. And is very, very good at getting well-deserved, very, very well-deserved kills, okay? I don't want to hear anything else. I definitely deserved all the kills that I got in this clip. It's kind of disgusting, but it is good for your team to win games, all right? Being able to push objectives, being able to confidently finish off low health targets. All right, Grizia, very scary SAP cruiser with smoke, and I think that one gets hydro as well, or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Still, being on a couple thousand HP there, in any other DD, we're, you know, like let's say a Fletcher, we're going to need a few salvos of HE into his superstructure particularly to take him out. Whereas Johnston, half of a burst with SAP, and he's gone. Service is, well, a little different story. Deserved? No, I deserve that, okay? Oh, no. Don't look at the base XP here, guys. Don't look. Avert your eyes. It was deserved, okay? I'm so happy, guys. Having an event like this, it feels so good to just be able to make a fully positive video that I'm assuming people are going to be excited for in the comments down below. This is such a nice change of pace, man. I wish I could make this kind of content every update. I absolutely love that we're getting an event here that you can earn a interesting high-tier premium ship. Doesn't have to be this good every time wargaming, but something to get the free-to-play player excited about the game. That way I can make a video that is fully positive about the upcoming content in the game, whether that be expensive stuff that comes in alongside it. I can be much more positive about the update as a whole, simply because there's something for everyone. If someone wants to spend money, there's something there, sure. But if you don't have the money to spend, if you're just playing this game for free or low cost, only getting premium time, something like that on a sale once a year, you have something to look forward to as well. Really excited about this one. Hopefully they don't mess it up with the event and give us some insanely grindy missions. That would be the one way to put a damper on this exciting event coming into the game here. It's going to be a few months, of course, to earn this one. It seems like towards the end of the year is when you'll actually get your hands on the ship if you complete the missions, but a high tier premium. Very cool. And as for the build here, I would highly recommend you just run a full gun build on this one. The Torps, while good in their range and decent in their damage and speed, just have such a long reload. Even with taking this upgrade here, it's still 153 seconds to wait. It's a very long time. So not really a Torp build ship. The Torps do okay though. And waiting for the right opportunity or sending them out long range into choke points can work out quite well. The guns, though, is where this ship really shines. We definitely want to take as much HP and survivability as we can. It's one thing about this ship I was a little hard on, too. It was very expensive, okay? So I was probably overly hard on this ship in particular when it came out because it was just so much money. But the playstyle here, I'm not a huge history buff here, so you can definitely let me know in the comments down below. But the way this ship fought and its ability to survive a lot of incoming fire in history, I think, could have been a good opportunity for a heel destroyer, maybe? I think that's personally what I was missing. And also the reason that this wasn't the very first video I made this week when the whole NDA lifted for these 3 ships specifically for this naval event coming into the game. I was hoping we were getting a heel version of Johnston with GQ Johnny. I was hoping it was going to be different, okay? I tried to not let that disappointment seep into this because this is still very exciting to get ourselves a tier 9 premium earnable for free in the game. Very cool to see that. I just was hoping for the heel, you know? This burst fire is cool and all, but I mean, having a heel, like getting us a kid at tier 9 would have been really interesting, I think. But regardless, it's still an interesting ship, and you can completely earn this one for free. Still going gun build, still definitely going gun build. I mean, here, I'll just show you. If we do go Torps, the reload is still 131 seconds. You're waiting a really long time for those torpedoes. Meanwhile, you're missing out on a lot of gun power, which is where I think this ship especially shines. These American smokes are decent. As mentioned in the Nanning video, I prefer Pan-Asian smokes or the British smokes for kind of bursty damage, smoke up for a minute or a little bit less, and then move on, rather than sitting in smoke for a couple minutes at a time. Often, the enemy ship is either pushing into you and you gotta leave your smoke quicker than that, or they're running away, and half your smoke time is useless anyway, unless you're smoking for a teammate. This is a very good team smoke because it lasts so long. You can go spot for your teammates in a div, anything like that. Works quite well for those situations. But that's, I think, going to do it here on the GQ Johnny or the Johnston. They are the exact same as far as gameplay goes. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, man. I'm excited. I hope that you're as excited as I am for a tier 9 premium ship earnable completely for free just by playing the game. So good. Well done, Wargaming. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.